So I thought today we would do a woman to woman video, but I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. And I'm still not quite sure what to name this video, as ever with these types of videos, I never know what to call them. But I recently posted a picture on Instagram because I have just been feeling lately like there is so much of what we see online that just seems so fake. And I'm not just talking about kind of on the YouTube community, because that's not necessarily where I see it the most. I think Facebook's probably where I see it the most, and it's just something I think that with the rise in social media, and we're all on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and that kind of thing, it is so easy to get into the trap of kind of making your life seem like it's perfect, and also looking at other people's lives and thinking that their lives look perfect as well, when the reality of it is no one's perfect and no one's life is perfect. But I think we can just really easily be able to kind of create a persona almost online of only showing what you want to show and only being the type of person that you want to be, or that you think people will respond to. And I think kind of Facebook's probably the place where it's the most noticeable, because I always see people on Facebook who are people that I know in real life, for example, and who they are on Facebook is not who they are in real life. And I know this because I know them in real life, but they're trying to create this different image, this different kind of life, this different person almost of how they want to be perceived. And I think Instagram kind of can do that as well, because, you know, I'll give myself as an example. I'll post pictures on Instagram of my makeup or of my outfit, and it's because I happen to like my makeup or my outfit that day. I don't post pictures of me in, you know, jogging bottoms and my hair in a bun and no makeup, because nobody wants to see that. But it's important sometimes to show the real side of things, because we don't all look glamorous all of the time. I mean, let's face it, pretty much most of the time I absolutely don't, and we don't all have, you know, these perfect relationships. And Facebook's the worst place for this, where everyone's like, I'm so in love, I'm so happy, you know, my partner's amazing, everything's great. It might be like that for like a spell, but it's not, and it doesn't mean that your life's perfect. And I often find that people who kind of feel a need to tell everyone how great everything is all the time, it's probably because it really isn't that great. Because I think if things are great, you just get on with them and you're busy living life and enjoying the great things in your life, rather than telling everyone about them. And I also feel like sometimes that can get a little bit braggy almost, and I'm very careful with that, because I never like things to seem that way. So for example, you know, something really great could have happened to me, YouTube related. I could have gotten a really great opportunity from a really big brand, something that I'm really proud of. And that's something that's very difficult with YouTube, because people in my everyday life, for example, don't understand it, don't understand how it works. And I don't think people are that interested in it either, because it's kind of a bit of a new thing and people just don't really get it. So it's difficult to make people understand what a big deal it is. Whereas if you just had an office job and you said, oh, you know, I got this great opportunity, I've been promoted, people are like, oh wow, that's amazing, congratulations, blah blah blah. But if you say, I've got to do a video for this really great brand, and you know, they're paying me really well, and it's a sign that, you know, my channel's really growing, they don't understand that. The only way you can sort of make people understand that is when you talk about how well you've been paid, which obviously I would never do, because it's not polite, and it's not really kind of appropriate either to be talking about that to people, and it's no one's business. But sometimes, you know, you do feel like you want to share something really cool, and that's really nice. But I'm always aware of not having it look like I'm bragging or like I'm showing off, because that's something online that I think has just become so much of a norm, and it's not something that we really do in real life. I mean, I think about like all the couples that I know, for example, who in real life, you know, wouldn't talk about each other the way they talk about each other on Facebook. It's just such a strange concept online that we've created this kind of thing where we have to document everything that we do and everything that we say and everywhere that we go. And I love social media, like I really do. Instagram especially is my favourite, but I can't be the only one that's sometimes left with a bit of a horrible feeling. And I posted a picture recently that I'd taken with a kind of really good camera, and I put a filter on it and really good lighting, and it made my skin look perfect. And then I took one on my iPhone, and the quality on my iPhone is really crappy, and the difference in my skin was like comical how worse it looked in the other picture. And I posted them side by side just kind of as a reminder that, you know, things aren't always what they seem, and things aren't as perfect. And sometimes people can be looking at a picture of someone being like, oh, you know, their life looks so perfect, she looks so amazing, I'm sure everything in her life's perfect, and it really isn't. And sometimes I think it's good to remind yourself, you know, well, that person might have this, but they don't have blah, 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 blah. And I know that kind of sounds a bit negative, but sometimes I actually find that it's positive in that it helps to kind of focus you and remind you that not everything that everyone says is the only way that it is. And, you know, you can have someone sharing some great news, but they might, you know, have other things going on behind the scenes that you don't know about. And it's like that kind of quote that says, don't compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight. And I think that's really true, in that it's just such an easy thing to do, to look at someone and think everything that they're doing is great and they're doing so well. And I feel guilty sometimes when I'll have comments on Instagram pictures and stuff, when people will be like, you're so perfect, your skin's perfect, your hair's perfect, you're so beautiful, you're just perfect. And it's just like, no, I'm not. I'm really not. My skin really isn't perfect. My hair isn't perfect. Because first of all, there's no such thing as perfect. And I just think, like, I wouldn't want anyone to ever look at my Instagram and feel like, oh, like it makes them feel bad about their own life. The same goes on Facebook. I just think this kind of, the bragging aspect of it is just really destructive. But by the same token, I know that a lot of it also is down to how you choose to take it. I really do believe that kind of you can choose to get offended or not. And sorry if you can hear that noise, it's a plane. If you choose to get offended, then that's kind of more on you, and it says more about your problems than someone else's. And I truly do believe that, with Instagram especially, less so with Facebook, because I do find Facebook to be very braggy, look at me, and like we've kind of all become the rock stars of our own life kind of thing. And I don't know, it's a topic that kind of I think about a lot, and that I know affects me, so must affect other people as well, where you look at someone and think like, you know, look, they must have everything, why isn't that happening to me? But it's really important to remind yourself that, you know, it's not perfect for everyone, and it's not like that all the time, and other people will be looking at you thinking that your life seems perfect, and you know more than anyone that it isn't. So I know this is a little bit of a different topic, but I've kind of been having a few thoughts lately about different topics that I wanted to talk about on the channel here that weren't necessarily beauty related or necessarily kind of body image related. I thought maybe I could come on here and talk to you about kind of different topics sometimes. Maybe we'll do it like a once a month thing, because this still is primarily a beauty channel, but if you had other topics you wanted me to talk about, then put them down below. And if there are any kind of woman to woman, body image related or anything like that topics, then please put those down below, because I always struggle for ideas for those, so any input from you would be greatly appreciated. But I'd love to know your thoughts on the topic, and kind of how you feel about it, and if you feel like it's kind of something that you struggle with. I know a lot of times with pictures as well, especially on Instagram and that kind of thing, you know, you can put a filter on everything and you can make everything look good, and so many of us, like, you know, enhance our pictures and Photoshop our pictures even, to a point where, you know, I sometimes see pictures on Facebook of people and I know that they don't look like that in real life, because I know them in real life, but the picture looks different, because the picture you put out there is what you want people to see, what you want people to think that you are. But I don't think we kind of realise that people who know you in real life know that you don't actually look like that. So yeah, it's a little bit of food for thought there. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope my voice wasn't too annoying. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.